Today I purchased a Jagdpanzer E100 and I'm going to show you how I equip it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go to Germany so I can see all of my German tanks. You see that I have a lot. I have 40 German tanks. These don't have a crew. I need to go through every vehicle and I'm going to send everybody into the barracks because I need to pick the best crew for my Jagdpanzer. This has a special loader. We'll send him to the barracks because he might end up in the vehicle. And all these guys got to go to the barracks. So I do this every time I buy a vehicle. He's going to keep his crew. We're going to do a return so that he gets his crew back. And then we're going to do the same for the Waffenträger. So I am putting all of my crew members into their vehicles. And I know you're going to say that the radio operator is red, and that's because I use the same radio operator on every vehicle. We can get more on that later. The reason why is because it levels up the radio operator faster. So he can have all those great skills like situational awareness. And the only thing that you're going to suffer from is your radio range, which really doesn't matter in the higher tiers. And once you get the signal boosting, you're all set. Okay, so this is a rental crew. We're going to sell them. He's got his crew. Notice that he has a different radio operator. So we're going to send this radio operator to the barracks. There is, on the Russian vehicles, you need 2 radio operators. In my Russian tech tree, I use 2 radio operators. That's a rental. Stu, gonna put them in the barracks. Dicker Max. Okay, I think that's everything. So now I'm going to go through, I'm going to click Accelerate Crew Training. I do want to check the modules just in case they have 2. No, there isn't. So now I'm going to pick my crew. And this is everything I have to pick from. So the E50 I sold. This was from the previous Jagdtiger. We have the Panzer II crew. So it looks like Metzger is the best option. He's got the highest level of crew skill. And anybody named ABT is my 0 skill BIA crew member. So over here you can see that we've got 3 to choose from. I'm going to take the Jagdtiger, which is Herbert, because he's got the highest skill. And then over here we've got also the Jagdtiger crew member. For the radio operator, we're not going to worry about the radio operator. We're going to pull him from another tank. And then over here we have also Wingelbauer, who is from the Jagdtiger crew. And then the last one is going to be the other Jagdtiger. But again, make sure you check for the ABTs. You're not going to have ABTs unless you configure it the way I did. I'm going to show you how to configure the ABT. So let's say this is a 0 skill BIA crew member. You go to the personal file and you go to the personal data and you go to the last name and you pick ABT. On my other, on British it's Abbott, on American it's Adams, on Russian it's Antonov, and that's how you know, that's how I keep track of the 0 skill BIA. So now that I have my crew, I'm going to retrain them. However, I might reset because you see this one has clutch braking, which you want on this style of tank destroyer. Because all the tanks along the line were turretless, I probably already have the right crew. I would say go for the off-road driving or clutch braking. It really doesn't matter which one you do. Clutch braking is kind of better, but off-road driving actually has some of the benefits of clutch braking. Don't get designated target, get Deadeye. And in terms of Snapshot, let's see if Snapshot is the one to use. You know what? Snapshot is not the one to use. You want to get the other one, which is Smooth Ride. You see how it's going forward and backward and forward, and this is for going forward and backward, which you will use with this vehicle. This one gives you a small benefit but not so much, only with the gun arc. But if you rotate the hull, it really doesn't matter. In terms of all of this other stuff, maybe armor is a good choice. I could imagine that this vehicle, because it's got that strong armor on the front, you're probably going to damage your gun once in a while. The repair kit is going to prevent you from getting ammo racked and set on fire because it'll be constantly repairing those modules. There's people that put repair kits, that put repair as like a low skill. I don't. I use 2 repair kits instead. We got safe stowage and adrenaline rush, so that's proper. So I'm going to retrain these guys, and I don't know if I'm going to do 100%. You know what? I'm going to do it at the lower amount, and we'll just play it through. It's no big deal. So what you can do is you could do just your commander at 100%. I'm going to go through his skills and see if I agree with everything. I would say this is all good. And I really want to get Eagle Eye, but it's not really that big of a deal. This is more for a light tank. A light tank Eagle Eye is a huge advantage. Maybe not so much for this. You really need high mobility for Eagle Eye to really make good decisions. I would probably get firefighting next. We don't know if the crew gets injured. Probably not. For this one, I would go with firefighting and then armorer and then designated target. And the reason why is because you're not going to be keeping track of targets that often. Chances are someone else is going to be spotting them, or you're going to be at close range, so it really doesn't matter. So for this, I would say no to controlled impact. Go with repairs. If you can get preventive maintenance, it's better than firefighting. But if you don't want to wait till you get to 100%, go with firefighting. And then for the loader, this one, I would put adrenaline rush. And the reason why is because I might use this crew member on a tank like the E100, which only has 1 loader, and you want him to have both of those skills. Intuition is really not that useful unless you're SPG. And even then, it's not that useful. And then with this, I would go with safe stowage. Intuition is useful if you've got a super long reload. And even then, you only got like a 17% chance or something like that. So go with safe stowage at the end over here. Again, for the same reason, in case you need to use that loader on a lower tier vehicle. In terms of rounds, I usually don't use the heat rounds. I don't care. 85 millimeters is great penetration. It's above the average. I know you're going to say, well, it's a tank destroyer. No, the Waffenträger is like 60 millimeters. So this is actually really good. I use small repair kit, large repair kit. We're going to check aim time. It says 2.62. 2.62 is actually not so bad. I'm going to start with a large first aid kit, and I could always change it later. I would like to play with heat rounds, but I'm only going to do it if I have to do a mission. And right now I'm not working on any missions, so maybe later I will switch and add heat rounds. I'd rather just use the regular rounds and not worry about it. I'm not one of those people that's obsessed with stats and damage and all that. And I don't have to have magic games. Okay. Natural cover, does that make a difference for this vehicle? I'm going to say that, you know what, you're going to get spotted. So you're either going to be super well hidden anyway, or you're going to get spotted. I'm going to say skip that. Don't worry about Sixth Sense. Not so much on designated target. I would say this. I use this on a lot of vehicles. Almost every vehicle I'm putting this on. Maybe that would help my aim. And I would say clutch braking is ideal. You know what? Clutch braking I would use if this were a ranked battle or frontline or something like that. Or if I was doing a tournament, then I would use it. Or if I was doing a mission where I have to get like 8,000 damage or something like that, then I would use it. Call for vengeance is a possibility. And the reason why is because there's often that you're going to die when the enemy's right next to you, because this is a slow vehicle. You're going to be in the back somewhere. So when you die, you're going to know who's there, and they're going to be right by you, and you're going to keep them spotted a little bit longer, which means that your allies might get more time to hit them, which means that you could get more EXP. So you use this whenever you are far from your allies and the enemy is near you. So for example, if you're a light tank and you go kill an SPG, you're far from your allies, and you're right next to the enemy SPG, you're going to keep them spotted a little bit longer so your allies can pummel them, get a little bit of EXP. Or if the enemy's winning the game, you're the last guy, you're camping somewhere, and you die, and one of your allies, who's also the last guy, gets a chance to see who got you, even though you might not be right next to your ally, and he gets to hit that guy. So that's the reason. That's when you use it, when you're isolated at the end of the game. So I'm going to go with this, perhaps. I don't know. I could always do it later. I'll notice if that's missing. So for this, there's a lot of people who say you got to use vents and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I'm starting to take vents off some vehicles. This might end up being one of them. So gun loading is 26 seconds, which means you want that gun rammer. Gun rammer is good if it takes a long time to load. Over here, I usually put coated optics. However, I'm not sure I want to use coated optics. Maybe I want to use binocs on this. And I'm going to try the camo net. And we're going to check over here on camouflage to see how that camo net. Plus 15 is huge. However, it's not going to help you when firing. When firing, it's only 1.62. The other option is you go for the improved vents, but you know what? I'm not going to play it today, so I'll wait for the vents to go on sale. The other option is toolbox, which is something else I use while I'm waiting. I own a couple of toolboxes. You can see that I have one in the depot and one applied. I own a couple toolboxes so that when I buy a new vehicle and I haven't decided to commit some cash to it, I can use the toolbox and demount it without paying anything. So then we're going to go to the exterior. First, we look at preset, and we're going to go here, nothing found. So we're going to go here and then camouflage. For desert, maybe I could go with this. Let's see how this one looks. I don't know. Does it look a little goofy? Doesn't look very scary. I really don't like this camouflage. I haven't found a vehicle that I enjoy putting it on, but I don't have much choice. I like it when you can change the color. Okay, so that's it. I do have a lot of great camos. However, they're all on other vehicles, so that's that. And there is something else for the exterior. You're going to notice that if you go to paints, there is a discount on paints. It's only 10 gold today. So we're going to see what this looks like. You go over here and you do remove all, and you could do something like a yellow gun, blue here. Did it wrong. I hate this. It's so difficult to use. So you could do something like this and put that in the game. This interface is so awkward to use. But I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I'm going to use this as my camo. And for the radio operator, you know, he's on one of these tanks. I'm going to tell you which one he's on. He's going to be over here. Yeah, that's the radio operator. So you put him in the barracks, and then you put him in this vehicle, and then you have the radio operator. Now, one of the reasons why I do this with a radio operator is because when you play in low tiers, you can get the brothers in arms skill for all of your crew on all of your tanks. You understand what I mean? So if we go to signal range, you see it says plus 17 for brothers in arms, minus 60. And then when you add the chocolate and improved vents, you really can kind of even it out. So basically, the biggest problem you have in low tiers is you don't have BIA on your crew. But if you do my method, you'll have BIA on your radio operator, which is going to save you a little bit. And I can get situational awareness and camo. All of these skills have no impact by the fact that it's trained for the wrong vehicle. I get full use out of all of this, and that's the reason why I do it. You're going to add the signal boosting, which is at the end of the game, and relaying is at the beginning of the game. So signal boosting improves your signal at the end of the game, and the reason why is because you have to be isolated for this to work. Relaying works when you have lots of allies in the game, which is the beginning of the game. If it is more at the end of the game and you're the last one left, or there's only a few left, relaying has a small impact. So you have to decide, as obviously for grand battles, you're going to want these. Save these for tier 10. When you get to tier 10, you're going to want these, or tier 8 frontline, you're going to want these. I'm going to get, I've been playing without signal boosting, no problem. Haven't tried it in grand battles yet. Haven't tried it. Haven't seen any big issue with frontline. But then again, I haven't played SPG on frontline. I would love to get Call for Vengeance, so this is high on my list, and then I would put signal boosting high on my list. Relaying, I would definitely put last. Okay, so that is how I configure the Jagdpanzer E100. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.